I'm not late. You're early. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Polyhedral Paradise. This is Up Late with the Dungeon Master. First of all, my apologies for being a little bit tardy this evening. Boys just came home from an all-day trip at the pool. Both of them shredded toes, bloody, look like hamburger. And then, yeah. So as I got everything settled and got ready to come down to start the show, my youngest son Marcus developed a case of amnesia and decided that I didn't put any hydrocortisone on his toes. So it was a last minute reapplication of hydrocortisone. So yeah. So there's that. So how's everybody doing this evening? First off, let me just say hi to everybody who's here in chat. If you're watching this on the replay, hi to you too. I'm glad you can make it this evening. Tonight's going to be a little interesting. We're going to take a look. First of all, tonight, the story is going to be Where the Black Roses Bloom. We're going to get into this, and I'm going to need a little audience participation for story time. Then we're going to take a look at some D&D products that hit the shelves at Walmart this week. And then we're going to dig into Wizards of the Coast's new movement. So they are involving themselves in some social justice stuff. It's not usually an area I get into, but as far as D&D news goes, it's about all that's out there. So yeah, so we're going to get into some of that, take a look at some things that they're doing to right some perceived wrongs that they have in their books, correct some issues with characters and classes, and could we see an end to alignment? So that's going to be interesting. First of all, let me say hey to Captain Pennsylvania. Good to see you. Fanjecture. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being here, Adam. If anybody's watching on the replay or even live and you haven't checked out Debate 8, it comes on at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's fantastic. You guys should check it out. Let's see. Who else do we have here? Zach. Good evening, sir. Gray. A pleasure to see you. Oh, you know what? I didn't click on these. Let me just do this here. Hey, Gray. So let's see. Lavas, thank you so much for showing up. Mea culpa about Monday. Full disclosure, Lavas was supposed to join us Monday for our D&D group, but we had so many connection issues and a whole bunch of problems that by the time we actually got started, he was already involved with the Den of Nerds community stream. So Lavas, our apologies. We're going to get you on hopefully this Monday. Let's take a look. Let's see who else we have here. Gene, good to see you. How's it going? Gene Warner, otherwise known as Conan. You'll hear me sometimes talk about the tales of when we go camping, when we did real life D&D out at the Forgotten Age. Gene was the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who started the whole thing. It was his property that we went to. So, yeah, so hopefully, Gene, is really good to see you. Yeah, thanks for coming out tonight. So, yeah, so look, usually I start off the nights with a story, and tonight's no different. Has anybody ever heard of Dragonlance? I'll just give you guys a second in chat. Anybody ever heard of Dragonlance? Let's see. Cap, you would love him. He's got the sword and everything. I mean, OG Conan. He's serious. He is serious. Can everybody hear me okay? Let me just check. Let me ask that first. Everybody hear me okay? I assume so. Super good. Nope. All right. Super good. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate it. You're super good too, sir. So, the Ravenloft Minute. As I'm wont to do, Ravenloft is an obsession of mine. So one of the first things I like to do when I start to show off is go off a little bit of Ravenloft lore. And tonight we're going to take a look at Where the Black Roses Bloom. And this takes place in a realm called Sithicus. Now, what happened was they actually imported villains from different settings into Ravenloft to get a lot of cross-pollination. So there was a villain named Kryn. He was like the greatest villain in Dragonlance history, and he was ported into Ravenloft, and Sithicus was his domain. So it was kind of like a little coup. I mean, there were some big names that were poured into Ravenloft, but Kryn was the biggest. I mean, Kryn was like a staple of Dragonlance. So I'm gonna read this to you. So this is an excerpt at the beginning called "The Knight's Tale." And I'm gonna need audience participation because at this point here, the players, in order to move the story forward, like I'm gonna tell you a tale, but in order to move the story forward, the players are supposed to throw coins on the table. Now, obviously, we can't throw coins on the table because we're virtual land. But I want you guys to do when prompted, when I point to you, I want you to type coin with an exclamation point in caps in the chat. Is that clear? Is everybody okay with that? Give me a thumbs up or something in in the chat. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds while I look over this. Maybe I get like 10 seconds while I take a sip of this nighttime concoction known as the Oakenspiel. Ah, that's fantastic. Grain alcohol and Hawaiian punch. Wells in the house. Good to see you, sir. So I was just telling everybody we're going to do a little audience participation. When I point to you guys, I need you to type coin in all caps in the chat. COIN. So we're going to start at the beginning here. This is on page 14. You guys don't need to know that, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Yes. Yeah, exclamation point coin in honor of Fanjecture. Let's see. Let's do that. All right. So this is A Dark Knight's Tale. Fitting A Dark Knight's Tale. Oh, what a tie-in. Unintentional. When she fled from Lord Soth nearly 20 years ago, Magda realizes she would learn more about the man who had held her hostage. Now that she is trapped in Sithicus, the Death Knight's domain, she puts her knowledge to good use. Magda's information came from many sources. Teleorm, a cleric of Galeon, who had become trapped in Barovia, provided some information on Lord Soth's early history. The secret journals of Lord Gundar, spirited out of Gundark after the Lord met his death. Gundark is another domain. We'll get into that at some other point. Provided additional material. Apparently, Count Strahd von Zarovich, raise your hand if you remember that name. Do you remember Strahd? I'm sure you guys do. Had shared with Gundar much of what he had learned about Soth from the Death Knight's first central Kardok. So a lot of this may sound like Greek. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not Greek, but you know what I mean. Magda wrote this information into a tale. She had taught it to each member of her tribe in the hope that the knowledge of Lord Soth might give them an advantage, should Sithicus Lord ever press them into service. Any member of Magda's tribe can recite A Dark Knight's Tale for the heroes if given a suitable incentive to do so. Now, this is where you come in. This is the incentive. A handful of gold or silver coins tossed at a time to keep the story going is the usual payment. Now, this is part for the Dungeon Master where it says, read the text that follows, pausing whenever the word coin appears and continuing the tale only after the heroes, you guys, because you're my heroes, have tossed a coin or two in response. So we all ready, huh? All righty. There once was a mighty warrior whose jealous passions and neglect of duty led him to lose all that was dear to him, his love, his life, his very spirit. His tale is a descent into darkness and evil. His name is Lord Soth, and this is his story. Long, long ago, Lord Soth was immortal, nearly 4 centuries ago. He had fought on the side in the distant land of Solamana. In those days, Lord Soth was a knight of Solamana. Through deeds of great daring and chivalry, he earned each of that order's honors: crown, sword, rose. He built the mighty daggered keep of rose-red stone and married the beautiful lady Gladra of Kalaman. Proud he was of his wife, though it was duty alone that made him wed her. Proud of his fortress strong. Pride, as we Vistini say, the greater the pride, the farther the fall. And what cursed this proud warrior to fall? Coin! Desire for a woman who was forbidden to him. Possessing her would make a mockery of his wedding vows. Possessing him, he would contradict her own promise to the gods. But then, as we Vistini say, the sweetest fruits lie behind the stoutest fence. Lady Isodel was her name. She was an elf maid of Sylvanrost, traveling with 13 other maids to the mighty city of Palanthris. She would pledge herself to the god Palandine, the valiant warrior, father of all god, platinum dragon of the evening sky. The maids were beset by bandits and taken prisoner. There were dozens of rogues, perhaps even hundreds. Somehow they had known just where and when to strike. Lord Soth met their leader, a fearsome ogre, in single combat. He fought the brute in accordance with the rules of fair combat, besting him even though the ogre resorted to trickery and unfair tactics. That foul person? The bandits fled. Lady Isabel fell into Lord Soth's arms. An innocent spark of love was kindled all too soon. It became the flame of lust. The elf maid had vowed to serve her god, but had not yet been sworn a priestess, and so had no formal oath to break. Lord Soth, however, was bound to his wife by sacred marriage oath. His vows were binding until death do us part. And there was only one way to break those vows. And so, I see it in chat. And so Lord Soth committed to the ultimate sin. He ordered his sensual, a vain and evil man named Caradoc to murder Lady Galadra. What should have been a bed of love was turned into a deathbed. Blood on her bedclothes showed that murder had been done, though her body was never found. With unseemly haste and without a tear of mourning for his dead wife, Lord Soth took Lady Isidel to live with him in Dagger Keep. His bloody secret seemed safe. But the elf maids who accompanied Isidel had sharp ears and keen eyes. Somehow they learned of Lord Soth's crime. Somehow their gossip reached the ears of the High Knights. Called before the council of her peers, Lord Soth was found guilty of murder, adultery, and dishonoring the vows of his order. He was dragged through the streets of Palanthris in shame and sentenced to death. His execution would take place the very next day, according to tradition, but Soth would die by his own sword. But that night, I'll wait till I see some coins in chat. There we go, Zach. That night, 13 knights who had remained loyal to Lord Soth rescued him from his prison. By dark of night, they stole away to Dagger Keep. The knights of Solomana besieged the keep, demanding that Soth emerge to meet his fate. They lifted the siege just long enough for Lord Soth to wed Isidel in a joyless, sparsely attended ceremony. The siege was a long and harsh one, but Dagger Keep held. Just as things were at their darkness, the god Palandine spoke to Lord Soth. The knight's sins would all be forgiven if he undertook one last heroic task. Success would mean Soth's death, but also bring about his salvation. Paladin ordered Lord Soth to journey to the city of Istar, where the king's priest of that city was about to demand the gods of the power to eradicate all evil from Kryn. Unless that priest could be stopped, the gods would only retaliate by utterly destroying the city. Only Soth could prevent the cataclysm. Lord Soth set out for Istar, but never reached the city. What had stopped him? There it is. Thank you, Lava. Soth never reached Istar because of the fiery hand of jealousy that gripped his heart. One of the elf maids whispered in his ear that Isidel had been unfaithful to him, that the son Isildur had been born was not Soth's own. Infuriated, Lord Soth rode home to confront his wife and her imagined crimes. At the same moment that he raised his mauled fist to her, the king's priest of Istar raised his voice to the heavens. The furious god hurled a mountain down at the keep and hurled the holy fire of Dagger Keep, destroying the area. Sorry. Even as she was consumed by the flames, Lady Isidel begged her husband to save the life of Peredur, her newborn son. Who makes these names up? But Lord Soth turned away. He lost his wife, he lost his son, and he lost his life, and he spirited that day. But something evil lived inside his empty chest, and so Lord Soth was reborn as a. There it is, Greg. Coin, a death knight, a creature of darkness, a heartless servant of evil, a mockery of a man with an icy voice and a chilling touch, a fiend capable of killing with a mere word, of causing racking pain with a mere glance, a creature capable of turning the bravest warrior's blood to ice, of burning the holiest priest to cinders with a mere thought, a creature who bends the shadows to his will and laughs in the face of the gods. Ha 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 ha. Together with the dragon, sorry, High Lord Katara Uth Martar, Lord Soth served the evil goddess Takish, Queen of Darkness, the five-headed dragon of the evening sky. Together they laid the glorious city of Palanthras. Together, thought Lord Soth, they would always remain. But Katara of the Crooked Smile died that day in the tower of the high sorcery of Palanthras. Her spirit entered the five-headed mirror that was claimed by Takathis. They say that Lord Soth smiled as he gathered up Katara's corpse, for he had prepared for this, even if the city fell. Can I get one more coin? Even as Philanthropist fell, Soth's ghostly central Kodrak entered the waste of the void, calling the abyss, then entered the infernal realm that was home to the Dark Queen. Reaching the goddess's realm, he raised his medallion of office above his head and called Katara's spirit into it. Within this prize, Lord Soth could raise the Dragon High Lord as one of the living dead. With Katara beside him, the retinue of his keep would be complete. Lord Soth would not receive Katara's spirit. Kodrak hid the medallion and demanded to be restored to mortal life payment before turning over to his lord. Mortal life as payment, sorry. Lord Soth responded as he always did to disloyalty, with an inflamed passion that burned away all rational thought, seeking revenge against his sensual. He followed Kodrak into the mist, but not once, but twice. Once to Barovia, domain of Count Strahd von Zarovich, a second time into Scythicus, the land where Soth now rules. Lord Soth seeks one thing, and that one thing only is the key to his every thought, his every action, and that one thing is to return once more to his native land. He will stop at nothing, spare no one in his efforts to achieve his goal. We, his unwilling servants, pray that one day he will succeed. For that day, we will see the end of this long, dark night. So that's that. That was something with some names that I care not to try to pronounce again. So what'd you think? So that was the story of Lord Soth's entrance into Ravenloft. That's how he got there. First to Barovia, then to Scythicus, which is a common route taken for a lot of people, actually. Aslan the Lich first came into Barovia and then went to Mordenshire and then settled in his own kingdom. Yeah, so a lot of people go through Barovia. So anywho, let me did you guys enjoy that, or was that a bit too long? I think some of these are a little longer than others, and you know, I had fun. I enjoyed it. Let's see. I see a lot of coins in there. Thanks guys for participating in that. Yeah, I pointed a little bit more than I should have. I kind of forgot that was the cue. But hey, you know what? That was fun for a first time. I like the audience participation stuff. That's cool. Let's see. What's that say? Lord Soft Serve. Yes. Like that's awesome. So, yeah, Aslan. Zach knows that name, right? Yeah, Zach knows that name. So guys, yeah, so that was the reading for this evening. Sometimes I feel like this is like a church ceremony. Come in, you do some stuff, you do some reading, do some kneeling, do some BS stuff, and then you know you drink some wine. So, mm. So haven't done that. We're gonna get on to our we're gonna get into the next thing that we're gonna talk about tonight. So some back in the heyday with D&D, Dungeons and Dragons products filled the shelves. So, hold on. Do I really, Lavas? Do I really have a Ryan Reynolds voice? What? Oh, was Ryan Reynolds' voice Danny DeVito body? Something like that. That's fantastic. So, yeah, back in the day, Dungeons and Dragons products filled the stores, and nowadays not so much. But I was strolling through Twitter. Um, let's see if this is the right one. Twitter the other day, and I found this. So newly released, available at Walmart, new die-cast metal D&D collectibles from Dungeons and Dragons and Jada Toys available exclusively at Walmart online. So yay for a return of mass market toys. Yeah, so this is cool. So I was looking at this, right? And we've got a red dragon over here, and we have a couple nondescript characters. I think there's an ogre, or he looks like he might be an orc there. Definitely an Olithid. And then we have, hey, 2 points, 2 points, and my ever dying admiration. If anybody can name this beholder right here, the beholder on the left, that guy right here, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to catch up in chat. So, can anybody name that famous beholder? Wells, you should know this if Wells is still in chat. No? All right. That famous beholder right there is none other than the representation of Xanathar. Xanathar. It. You know what? Hold on. Let's see. Sorry. Here we go. Pretty much. Pretty much. I mean, thank you, Lavas. Yes, cue Jeopardy music. Did you get it, Cap? Did I miss it? No. Yeah. So anyway, so Xanathar, as annotated by Xanathar's Guide to the Galaxy, or Guide to Everything, is a crime lord from the city of Waterdeep. Here's a better picture of him that you see. Look at this, and you're like, oh, it doesn't really much look like what I'm seeing on the screen. But actually, when we come to this one, so you can see it's a little bit more of a representation, right? A little bit more of an accurate representation of Xanathar, right? Yeah, so here is where I got totally cheesed off because, and I'm going to close this out here. So when we take a look at the actual post, let's see. I got to bring up the actual page at Walmart. Here we go. I'm going to share this here. This is what comes in the pack. You get the red dragon. You get this guy right here with a red headband, or those his eyes. Is that a prehistoric version of Cyclops? Maybe. I don't know. You get a dragon, or that's not a dragonborn. That is a Oh, help me out here. Yeah, that could be. That looks like a rogue. You have some sort of dwarf there, but what you do not have, you do not see here, is Xanathar. How do you do this? How do you have such deceptive advertising on your Twitter feed? right? It does, Lavis. You are 100% correct. Doesn't it sound like an erectile dysfunction medication? My wife used to give me, oh, we'll try again tomorrow, until I got a whole bunch of Xanathar. Do not take Xanathar if you're allergic to Xanathar. I love those. That's yeah. So let's see. So yeah. So in the pack that they show, Xanathar is not available, and clearly they did that because Xanathar is an extremely popular character, and yeah. So and to top it off, everybody knows D&D minis, the deal with D&D minis, right? So the miniatures that you use for tabletop gaming are supposed to be able to fit into a what represents a 5 foot by 5 foot square. So you can use them placed on a battle map. Some of the larger creatures are 5 by 10. Some of the really large ones are 10 by 10 squares, but these are not even proportional for that. Um, they're just figurines, so they're not even useful for that. So, yeah, my excitement for having new D&D stuff on the shelves was doused like a ice bucket over top of my head. So let's see. Was there any other? There was another product that I wanted to get you guys to look at. Mystic Odyssey of Theros. Mystic Odyssey of Theros has come out, and I feel like I need to at least mention it. So the newest source book for Dungeons and Dragons is Mystic Odyssey of Theros. 2 points if anybody can tell me where Mystic Odyssey of Theros is from and why I'm really having a hard time talking about this. Anybody? Mystic Odyssey of Theros. We'll just read this right here. The world's most popular role playing game meets the world's most popular trading card game. Sorry. In this campaign sourcebook detailing Magic the Gathering's world of Theros for use in Dungeons and Dragons. Legends walk the land of Theros, a realm shaped by deities and the deeds of heroes. From the temples of omen-speaking oracles to the 5 realms of the underworld, the champions of the gods vie for immortal favor and place among the world's living myths. Choose a supernatural gift that sets you on the path of destiny, or align yourself with one of the blah, 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 blah. Uno for nerds. Yeah, it's a Magic the Gathering setting book. Receive supernatural gift from the gods, or a set of special traits that mark your character for greatness. Select one of the new races for your character, such as mythic peoples, as the Leonin or Satyr. New subclasses include the Bard's College of Eloquence, Masters of Oratory, and the Paladin's Oath of Glory, an affirmation of destiny laid out for you by divine providence. So, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, let's see. So yeah, so that's come out. So that's happening. Yeah, Adam, you go play Uno for nerds. That's fine. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, do what you want. I mean, if you wanna waste your time, you know, and your money on a card game, that's fine. Who am I to judge? But I am judging. So yeah, Mystic Odyssey of Theros is out. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures. Story gameplay. No. So let's see, game store. Yeah, so I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time trying to dig through here because frankly, I really don't care. It's not that I don't want to show you pictures, but you know, it's Theros. So all right, so guys, let's. I see that. I see that. The salt. Yeah, there's a little bit of salt. There's a little bit of salt. I mean, we don't do. I mean, should you don't want me to get into that rant again, right? Nobody wants that, so I'm not gonna do it. So Um, yeah. So the next thing I want to talk about tonight, and I'm going to from here on out put a link out up in chat because I don't usually do this, but we're gonna talk a little social stuff, I guess. Because recently D&D has been going back through and reviewing some of their older books, and kind of want to get if anybody wants to come on, I kind of want to get people's thoughts on this because it's not ever really anything I considered. Let's see, I put this in chat here. So if anybody wants to come on and talk about it, so we're gonna take a look at some of the comments made recently by Chris Perkins um, from Wizards of the Coast. So let's see. Yeah. So they're going back through. This is going to be from. This comes to you from Bowls, Tabletop RPG, and Geekery. Although it's been a bunch of other places. Um, Wizards of the Coast announces inclusivity updates to Orcs, Drow, and Vistani. For those of you who don't know, you probably recognize the words Orcs and Drow. But the Vistani are um, basically think gypsies. Um, yeah, kind of like Romanian gypsies. Now, when I played Curse of Strahd, I never really thought that there was anything offensive about them. Yeah, I mean they were a little stereotypical, but I didn't realize that was offensive to people because it just seemed how it was. But apparently, like the Vistani are considered um, they're considered offensive. So I don't know, but we'll see. Oh, I have to point this out here. Oh, yep, Magic the Gathering. Yep. Let's see. By Crom's beard, go get your flagon, and you fill it with the greatest ale you have, and you drink it down, and don't come back here to me till you do. Sorry, that's my worst. That's my worst, Arnie. Yeah. Ken, great to see you here, buddy. Yes, the crew is here. So yeah, so let's take a look at some of the stuff from this article here. So I'm just gonna read it to you because I like reading. Words are fun. Words are awesome. Wizards of the Coast released a statement yesterday announcing an official policy about the diversity as well as changes to Drows, Orcs, and Vistani. In the wake of recent discussions about how certain peoples were portrayed, I'm just getting used to my new two-monitor setup. Sorry, I'm all confusing myself here. In the wake of recent discussion about how certain peoples are portrayed in Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast have released a statement announcing their plans to address racially insensitive material, specifically the way Drows, Orcs, and Vistani are portrayed, as well as a few other changes alongside plans for D&D to actively work towards being more diverse, inclusive space moving forward. What does that all mean? Well, for one thing, it means that soon you will be able to decouple race and ability score bonuses. But importantly, it means that Wizards of the Coast is acknowledging the harm that depicting whole peoples as savage and monstrous can cause language like that in kind and Vola's Guide to Monsters. So let's read the role playing as an orc here. Most orcs have been indoctrinated into a life of destruction and slaughter, but unlike creatures who, by their very nature, are evil, such as gnolls, it is possible that an orc, if raised outside the culture, could develop a limited capacity for empathy, love, and compassion. No matter how domesticated an orc might seem, its bloodlust flows just below the surface. With its instinctive love for battle and its desire to prove its strength, an orc trying to live within the confines of civilization and faced with a difficult task. So basically, as it's written in the book, with Volos, an orc doesn't have the capacity to be more than some sort of murderous killing machine. Yeah. So I guess what they're trying to say is that it's not that that they're not inclusive, but that this type of language where you take a look at a race and they say the race is capable only of being savage is the problem not so much that this race itself is not diverse. I guess that's what they're getting at, because they go on to say here, we've talked about how language like this can perpetuate harmful ideas. It's not that orcs themselves are racist, but rather the language used to depict them is the same language that has been used to demean other real world minorities. D&D has a history of some pretty ugly ideas that are baked into some of the things that are legacies, like this take on lawful good from the game's creator. Now, see, they're going to get into here. They're going to get into stuff about. Uh, they're going to start to attack the alignments. They want to do away with alignments because they don't think that alignments like lawful good, lawful neutral, stuff like that should play such a big role in the game moving forward, because they feel that they're limiting, and they pigeonhole certain races. See, sometimes like certain entire races were tied to alignments. So I guess what they're trying to say is that they want to break away from the structure that you have an entire race that is wholly one way. And I don't. A lot of people are having a hard time because I don't think that the discussion is nuanced enough with what Wizards of the Coast is trying to do. People hear like diversity in Dungeons and Dragons, and they don't quite understand what they're trying to do. Um, in a way, I can understand decoupling like a race from being one complete thing, but I think a lot of this may be much to do about nothing. But I'm gonna Cap's here, so um I'm going to bring Cap onto the stream. Mr. Pennsylvania, how are you doing this evening, buddy?
I'm always good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, except you're coming through my main speaker, so I'm sure that's creating some sort of weird feedback. So give me 1 second to change that.
I thought it was me like always.
No, no, that was me, man. That was me. My bad. My bad. So how you doing this evening, sir? I know I just asked that, but I'm gonna ask you again. Thank you for being.
I'm good, man. You know, we had a good Wednesday night trivia nerd card. Missed the Slipper Clan tonight, but you know, it was fun. Go
Look,
straight over to Adam's Adam on Fanjecture. Dark Knight won, but we ain't gonna go there because it's a horrible film. We could talk about that all night, you know, but we had
hey,
fun.
if you want to get into that, we can get into that. I mean, we
Yeah,
don't
we
have
can get into that.
to, because I tell you what, the biggest problem for me was the fact that Nolan's best movie wasn't even involved in that bracket. You know? No,
The
that's
Prestige, is that what you're saying?
yes, yes. The Prestige is one of my favorite movies. I think Adam underestimated. I know we'll swing back to the D&D talk, but we have to address
It's
this.
all good, man.
Yeah, no, it's all good, baby. But the Prestige is not only like it's one of his best movies. I think he underestimated how far that movie would have gone, because
And how much people love it.
I love it. That movie was
I
mind blowing
I
for me.
like it. I just think it's okay though.
Well, that's fine. That's understandable. It
But
was
I now this is just me personally. I know
Mhm.
nobody else would agree with this, but I would have put that in over hell the whole Nolan trilogy. But I'm not big on that trilogy.
I see. I think I think it was a rigged field once you throw in all three of the Batman movies. I thought that's where the mistake was made.
At
Frankly,
least we didn't get a Batman versus Batman championship.
no, God, how boring would that have been? But I
Man,
no, I would have rather seen Prestige in there over the one with the Robin Williams. Help me out here in chat.
um um I forgot too, man.
No, yeah, but that one, right?
Memento.
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
Mentos,
In
Mentos.
the I was gonna say Independence Day.
Indecisiveness. No, no. Into Panties Day. No, that was Grandma porn I watched.
Ah,
That's wrong.
yeah,
Whatever.
my
No,
mind's going right now.
you know what I'm saying. You know
I
what
know what you're talking about.
no, but the one where I almost said well, yeah. Okay, but yeah, I thought that could have been in there. Hey, we're gonna it's just real quick. I'm gonna ask a pointed question. Because a lot of it has been made about diversity in Dungeons and Dragons. I don't know if this is a conversation you want to get dragged into. I'm
I
just
don't mind at all, man.
okay. Yeah, I'm not because I've never really thought much about it. But so we're gonna get into some of the comments that have been made where people talk about, some people have brought up objections that races such as the orcs and the drow, who have darker skin colors, have been portrayed as purely evil. Now, obviously Caucasian, but is this um, is that anything you ever considered, even subconsciously, that
Not once.
no?
Just be honest
Okay.
with
Yeah.
you.
I
Maybe
don't
I
know.
don't know.
I mean,
Um,
I'm not I'm not being flippant here. I'm actually asking because it's not
no,
anything,
I feel you. Maybe
you know.
maybe there's somebody out there that feels that, but I don't understand how. I mean, orcs aren't even a real thing. I don't walk
Right.
out there on the street like, oh, hey, George, you just happen to be an orc. No, that doesn't happen.
Right.
We don't see them. They're created.
Right.
Maybe somebody saw they were a little darker and felt some sort of way about that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
can't say.
Yeah. The only I mean, if I'm being honest here, the only thing I ever thought was weird, that the drow were supposed to be a subterranean creature that lived, in the Underdark with no light, but they had like pitch black skin, which I always thought it would have made more sense if they were like super duper pale. Um, and but I don't know enough about the history to say that that was done like as
Right.
light or on purpose or anything like that. But I guess, like, I guess you have to sort of listen if people feel that way. I don't know. It's just not anything that ever really crossed my mind. But I don't. I don't think there's any harm in listening to people talk about stuff like that. But I
Oh
have to.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and this isn't an area I usually go into, so I just. But I thought, since it's relevant, it is news now. But I just thought we.
Well, I mean, being a black man, I'm
Mhm.
all for diversity.
Right.
But I just would never. If you were going to say diversity, we were going to talk about a million different things before we come into a fantasy world.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
think that's as diverse as it gets. It's
Yeah. It
fantasy.
does. It does seem a little bit of like this is like opportunistic. I don't know. Like, I just.
I hate to be the guy, but we get in these times, and it's just the cool thing to do, man.
Yeah. It does seem a little bit like that. Because it seems like, of all the things that we have to worry about, like Dungeons and Dragons and the things out there, that there's not a lot of real world parallels, frankly. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I understand it's medieval Europe. There's a lot of those things, but yeah, the orcs, really, I don't know, and maybe there's something I'm missing. But anyway, I'm gonna bring Mr. Lavis into the stream.
Oh,
Yo,
this guy.
yo,
How you
What's
doing,
up,
what's
man?
man?
good? I saw Cap was coming on here, and I don't feel like he was going to actually give you guys some positive and accurate information. So I had to come and back it up
Is
because
this gonna be about? Is this gonna
can't
be
let us.
about debate 8, or is this gonna be about?
This could be about anything. Cap is usually
What's
wrong, and I don't really know much. I don't know much,
Wow.
but
Oh man.
I have
That's
to come
hating at
balance
its
it out.
fine.
So
That's not hating, man. I'm just keeping it relevant.
that's not,
That's what it is.
so how you doing this evening, buddy? You doing all right?
Doing good, doing good. I'm a recap what Cap said, and we had
Mm-hmm.
a great nerd card tonight. We had some winning elements there, and then we went to debate 8, and again another win. So
Ah,
I'm just having a winning evening tonight. It's just going great. Can't
Ah,
complain.
I gotta tell you, well, like, one of the biggest regrets for me, 2020 has been a year filled with regrets. But the fact that we didn't get a Slipper Clan and Chet, what is it, Chet?
Chet boys for life.
Yeah, I
Scared
I
guess so.
see.
boys.
I see what
Yeah,
you're trying to do. I know
yeah,
y'all on
Yeah.
the same team, and
it's
I see what
something
y'all
Chet
trying to do.
something. Yeah, no,
See,
no.
but the
So,
thing is, though, what Lavis doesn't realize is the people more than anything wanted the Slipper Clan. We didn't so much want it.
Hey, I was on y'all side the last game. I really did want y'all to
Hey,
win.
did you see how on fire I was?
You
I mean, I
were.
say so
Y'all
myself,
were
but
fired up. I was
yeah,
thinking those Discord chats actually came through.
you know,
yeah,
Y'all
that
was
was.
y'all was right there.
I'll tell you what, though.
man, it was
Like,
fun.
in all honesty, though, I'll say this: Lavis, and meeting you, and meeting Ryan and Trev and everybody. I know we lost, we screwed a pooch, we made our mistakes, but like the fact that we met you guys, if I can get sentimental here for a second, like tear running down my, that was a real win. Was meeting all you
Yeah,
guys, so
yeah.
that was a real win.
Yeah, it's a win for all of us. Just
Yeah.
me
Yeah.
and you is a win for all of us too.
And having said that, you just watch out for next season because
Mm,
Oh yeah,
mm.
I've learned from my
I-
mistakes.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Hopefully we'll go first. It'll be our team versus y'all's team first,
Well,
and you know,
we weren't too scared to bounce out of the first round, beg our way
Nah,
out.
man.
You know,
no,
just
I
saying.
I actually wouldn't mind him going first, but Stormbreaker, he had other plans that day.
We were supposed to go and face each other first.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was down with that, especially when I heard it was y'all. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
but
that would have been fun.
yeah, then we lost a teammate at the same time, so
Yeah, man. Guy died.
Oh,
Trash.
what?
Yeah,
Seriously? Like,
yeah,
like, really?
yeah. Like somebody killed him. Somebody
That's
wiped him out.
that,
oh,
that's tragic.
that
Yeah, man.
sounds like some D&D talk.
That's like seriously tragic.
That's
I can't even.
D&D talk.
um, so
See, I know a little. I know a little.
so Lavis, I know you're no stranger to speaking your mind and stuff like that. Do you think there's any? Do you think you should even try to draw a correlation between fantasy world and the creatures within it to real world situations, or do you think
I'm
as much to do
okay.
imagination?
So, in my opinion on that, I think
Mm-hmm.
you can't have a fantasy world without having reality.
Mm-hmm.
And so, a lot of the things that you incorporate into a fantasy world are just things that you've seen in real life and decide to make it a
Mm-hmm.
sense of fantasy. So, like, a dragon, they're probably morphed that out of like a Komodo dragon or something like
Or
that.
or
Or
dinosaurs or.
yeah, the
Mhm.
dinosaurs, and then the whatever kind of like hell fiend dogs or whatever. Those are just dogs, and they were like, let's put them on fire, make blood come out their mouth, and now you got those kinds of elements added there. So I don't think you can really have fantasy without having reality.
Right.
One feeds off of the other.
So then there is a responsibility at us to a certain extent to make sure that you don't like like if there's a I'm going back to the Beckme set here. So I know this is going to be a little bit of maybe something that isn't may not understand, but there were things called gazetteers. So they took these 12 gazetteers that broke down like different groups in the known world. Well, they did pull heavily from real world cultures, and one of them was called the Etrugan clans, and it was based on the Native Americans. Well, one of the big like eyebrow raising things, even in the '90s, was the fact that they had a -2 to intelligence, a -2 to wisdom, and a +2 to strength. And and then this is one of the things that I think does need addressing, where you take a real world race and then you assign pluses and minuses to their statistics or their abilities, sort of based on what you how you assess their culture. And I think something like that does need to be addressed and not done. And that is an area where I can see Wizards of the Coast looking moving forward and saying that that's not okay. So something like that, I can say yes. Like I see how that you take a real world culture and then you start to assign values to it and statistics, and you're really walking a razor's edge. And I think a lot of this stuff that they're doing now, even though they're getting backlash for it, is really correcting those things where they're decoupling race from statistics, and I think that's probably a smart move. So thoughts?
It definitely is. Yeah, in that situation, and it can go like even you said with the orc thing. I don't know personally. I don't know enough. I'm also a new player. Yeah, if you're taking some real languages or traits or names and you're coming directly from a race, then yeah, I mean you probably shouldn't do that anyways. Your fantasy. This is the point is we're creating a whole new world.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't create a new race or whatever, you shouldn't be in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it?
I think there. I think a lot of people hear that we're gonna go in and take a look at our own material and sort of clean up the rough stuff, and people automatically get triggered. We're like, how dare you go back and touch my old things? We're like, if we're gonna have
Right.
an honest conversation about it, there are some things that maybe they created not from a place of understanding about other cultures, and sort of slapped a whole bunch of uh, uh, um, generalities onto it. Maybe could be insensitive to some people, but the some of the things I disagree with is like I never looked at a drow or an orc and thought that they were like a real life um, where they were like, oh, that's a this person or that's a that person. I thought there was a clear line with like all the creatures where like I never really saw them as real life. I didn't think they had a real life parallel, and I think some people see that.
Well,
So I don't know.
I
That's
think
just
some things are amalgamations of other things. So it's like if you can't find one thing in reality that matches something in fantasy, you probably find that element in several different things, and they probably mash them together,
right.
and there you have it. You got the one fantasy creature.
Yeah.
I also think in this, I don't know how well this goes over. I mean,
Taylor Lane.
I'm also a little older, and I just
This is
think
good.
a lot of time we're being real sensitive out there about what people are kind of tiptoeing. There was I think it's on Netflix, the Community show.
Mm-hmm.
They put an episode. It was a D&D episode, and I do believe it's a drow. And they said he was in blackface, so they pulled it. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, are
Hmm.
black people even saying, "Hey, you should pull this episode"? I really don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think that's the case. It's too
I don't
much.
think we're getting a chance to. I think things are just people are just apologetic
Right,
and they're just taking it upon themselves. Oh, this wasn't right. We're gonna pull this. Oh, this wasn't right. We're just gonna pull
right,
that, and it's not stuff that we're asking for.
right.
They think we want it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, we're just
Yeah.
sitting back.
If I can ask you guys, like, how is that? Because it seems like a lot of this is coming from, um, I mean, Caucasians. Like you see, like a lot of these outcries aren't really coming from the African American community. Like a lot of like the minutia. Like I know that like the general stuff is, but like a lot of the details, like the really specific things, seem like it's not like a lot of people are speaking for your community and not like
I
yeah.
can't speak for obviously all the black people because
Right.
I'm one person,
Right.
and
Yeah.
but for me, you remember I had a talk with you and I told you I felt like a novelty at first. The way some people are talking about this or the way they're doing things, apologizing, giving us stuff that we're not asking for.
Right.
For me personally, it's all about equality, and that's it shouldn't be for just black people. It should be for females. It should be for other races. It should be for Caucasians. It should just be equality all
I
the way
mean,
around.
and it does, and it's just the way that they're handling it. I guess you would say in public, the way that they're handling it, they think they're doing for everybody,
Right.
and in reality, they're not. They're just doing for themselves because they feel apologetic and they're guilty. And this is, I think, a lot of the ways that they're trying to like pay it back. And it's not what, like I said, it's not what we asked for.
No.
We just want to be looked at like everybody else.
Yeah.
And
That's
my
it.
apologies, I misspoke. I said everybody should have equality except Tom Brady.
And what you got against about Big Tom?
Man, look, I'm gonna say this, and this is you can replay this, so this is gonna get crazy. But he beat my team 15 straight times at a time, and point time, and that hurts. That
Cap,
hurts.
everybody beats the Bills.
Ain't
Okay.
nobody beat us 15 straight.
It's only because you like them, Cap. That's why.
I don't like. I live Buffalo. Get in there.
See, that's why.
Oh man. Yeah, I know. We got a little bit of away from D&D talk. I appreciate you guys coming on. Just talk about this stuff. I like. It's not something I get into a lot. I think about it a lot, but it's sort of, you know, I,
Touchy subject.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a heavy subject, and I think it's one that really deserves like level-headed, sit down, like discussion. And
Right.
it was I really appreciate you guys just coming on for a little bit to talk about it, and this just like the fantasy world that we live in, like it's it even comes into that, and to have some different perspectives, I really appreciate it, and thanks guys again, I really appreciate it. So
Not a problem.
yeah,
Definitely, man.
thanks.
If you can't say it, I'll say it for you.
What's that?
If you can't say anything, I'll
Well,
say it. Just
no,
be like, hey, I'll say it.
look, you guys. I know I trust you guys' opinions. I know. I don't speak my mind too much, but because I don't. I live in this little. I live where I live, and but
In the Matrix.
But no, I can't.
Wish we were
Hey
in the
man,
Matrix.
I am red
I
pilled the
wish.
hell out, but not in the way that they is anybody else bothered with the way they took the red pill and like used it for like other things? I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Because I would have stayed in Matrix myself, but I would have been the
Dude,
guy that steak dinner and went back in.
yes. Thank you very much. Like, why wouldn't I go get a steak dinner? Like,
No,
I would no, I would
I'd
totally.
have took the pill. I'd have took the
Would
blue
you?
pill.
All right. Well,
I would have took it. I would have been excited. I would have saw what was real life, and I'd be like, you know what? That Matrix is looking real good.
all right.
We're out here scavenging. We're barbarians now. Not
And
even
then,
cool barbarians like Conan or whack
then you would have
barbarians.
got shot with that electric gun just like he did too. And it would
Yeah,
have been me doing it.
I would have gone back.
Light
into
your
Matrix.
ass up.
Look, I mean, Zion's fine and all whatnot. I like raves as much as the next person.
That's all it was, though.
Hey, they was getting it in too.
They were like for like 30 minutes straight, while in slow motion.
Hey, I'm gonna say something, and this is another thing I'm saying that could be replayed. I never
Mhm.
saw The Matrix 2 and 3.
What? Like never.
Like never.
Well, how can you even be in this conversation then?
I mean, I'm here.
I mean, you're here, but you don't have
You ain't
anything
really here.
actually to add.
Well, I know about the blue pill and the red pill. That's what the
But
conversation.
that was the
about.
one. That was one. But
Right, you haven't seen the rest of them?
Nah, man.
What?
I know. Look, I know the Matrix is better, and I don't need to go into no real world unless they had some cool video games and comic books. And I know they didn't have that. They had PlayStation. Nope.
They had something better than PlayStation. It was the Matrix,
It was the
where
Matrix.
you could literally
going back
go
in.
in and do anything. Like they probably could have uploaded you as Mario if you wanted to. You could have
They
get a
stole
whole
it.
bunch
They
of
stole it
coins.
off the agents.
So
No, there was one way
I
before
gotta
the
watch
agents.
Matrix, man. I'm gonna watch
Yes,
it.
you do.
So who else thinks that the Matrix was like the natural conclusion to the Terminator series? Like Skynet won and then
Right.
enslaved all humanity. They should
I agree with that.
be together. But yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like they was watching Terminator and it was like, I wonder what would happen after the
Like,
fact.
you know what would be cool?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the with the Wachowski brothers or
Watch a Mikowski.
Well, they're the sisters now, but they were
Yeah,
the
the
brothers back
Wachowski
then.
sisters. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were brothers.
Did they
Wachowski.
go? Did they change?
Yes.
This another touchy subject.
You're right. I don't know. Right?
You might want to be careful.
Yeah, I'm about to get canceled. What are we? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
They switched up.
They switched up, man.
Yeah.
They switched up.
More power to them, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man.
Turn of the century. I don't care.
Do whatever you want. I don't care. Just don't.
All right.
But if you try to Google them as Wachowski brothers, the only thing you'll find with their names in it are the articles. They come
Yeah.
up as the sisters now. So
Yeah.
Google
Both of
accepts
them.
them, so why can't I?
Like both of them went through the change.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I don't
yes.
know how changed they are, but they're
Right.
they're females now.
Look, all I'm saying is commit. Okay, just commit. Like if you're gonna do it. Like,
Look, I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to.
What?
They are very ugly females.
oh, I thought you were like you were gonna do it. I don't know.
CJ, at least if anything, they'll cancel Cap before they cancel you. They
That's
just
fine.
like that Captain America, that Captain Pennsylvania guy. Don't have him on your show no more.
I only got 65 subscribers. If it cancel me, I'll just start over as some non de plume. I'll just
That's all.
go as Doomcock Jr. or something.
And I got a shield the shape of Pennsylvania, so you really can't cancel me. You know?
Cap, they can cancel anybody. Trust me.
Till I get my superhero in on and be like, that's my shield flying around. Ting, 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 and come
I
back.
already showed everybody your shield on the After Dark.
That was an old shield. I got the new shield.
Yeah, I know. You still use it. I'm gonna ship it back.
Yeah, what, like $12.99 shipping. I think Cap. That thing was like this big.
Yeah, I saw it.
Like an old school pizza place from Pizza Hut back in the day, like a mini personal pan pizza. Over spray painted fluorescent green. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Hey, we all got to start somewhere. You know?
Yeah. Apparently you didn't grow from it, but whatever. Hey.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is shot
Boys.
coming my way.
I love you, man. I mean, that's why I make fun of you. But you know.
Shots is fired.
So, all right, I'm gonna give you a chance, Lavas.
What's up?
Not that anybody's watching who doesn't watch your show, but why don't you go ahead and plug whatever you got coming up, buddy?
Well, pretty much tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern, I guess 9 o'clock Central. We will do the After Dark show there. We have Tarazan, Al Schuler, and Dave Marvel. And tomorrow's show, we are incorporating a little bit more of our structure into it. We're going to be having what we call open bar, and we're going to give you guys. We each have our own topics, and we're going to give you guys the chance to vote on which ones you'd like to go first
Okay.
and spend the most time on. Uh, and then I'm also going to be outing Josh because he thinks he knows what my take is about the Snyder Cut, but he does not. He is completely wrong. He's
Do,
always wrong, and I'm going to show you guys why.
do you want to give us a little preview? What is your take on the Snyder Cut, sir?
I give you a small, very small preview.
On petit peu.
Pretty much, it's not actually about whether it existed or not. It is about the simple fact that a whole month before it came out, I told Josh in the chat that it was going to come out on HBO Max, and everybody was going to be all on that Snyder train because, right now, at that moment in time, they had said that it wasn't going to come out, it wasn't real, it didn't exist, all that stuff. And then I told him, I was like, no, they're going to produce it on HBO Max. And he was like, oh, where'd you hear that from? We got this covered. So,
Mm.
and that's
You
it.
did call it.
That's
You
all
did
I'm
call
saying for right now. That's all I'm saying for right now.
But it didn't exist.
I mean, it kind of.
That's all I'm saying for right now.
It kind of existed.
I'll give my whole entire take on whether it did or did not. You have to come tomorrow and find out.
We will be there tomorrow night.
10 o'clock.
Nerds, subscribers only. So subscribe before you.
Den of Nerds, Nerd Vengers.
Nerd
Nerd
Vengers,
Vengers.
yes, sir. Not like
Yes,
we're
sir.
cross promotion or anything around here.
We don't do that.
Not at
No.
all. Not at all.
We're all
Yeah.
we're all the same. We're all in the same community. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
You're just right up the street.
Everybody talks to everybody.
Right. You're right up the street.
Hey,
So-
Will Ferrell City, ELE. Everybody love everybody.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You go to Fanjecture and you have the debate 8 there. That's like going to the movies and voting and debating on whether you like those movies. And then you come to us after dark and get that drink. Sit back and relax. You go to Jason and play your games. We got the whole thing on lock, man. We got it on lock.
Little Westworld action. Lavas, I appreciate you coming out and hanging out, buddy, and talking about everything. And thank you so much. I'm gonna end here tonight, but
Sir.
I will see you tomorrow night. I'll definitely be there. I encourage everybody to go. First of all, you got to go through channels. Go check out Den of Nerds Live, and then become a Nerdvenger and then subscribe. Then you get Den of Nerds After Dark with Lavas and Tara and Dave Marvel with his little head. It's tiny. I swear to God, if he comes with the little head again, I'm gonna make fun of his ass. But anyway, do that, and it's well worth the cost.
Most definitely.
Price of admission. And they get real talk. They get real on there. I touched a little bit on some topics tonight that I don't usually do, but they go full on. Like, let's talk about it. And I appreciate that with you guys.
Like I said, you need something said that you're not comfortable. You just add me, man. Hit me up. I'll be here.
Look,
One day they might get the McNuggets to talk Scotty Summers.
One day.
No, Scott.
One day.
That's I mean, I love you, Cap. I do, but Scott Summers. Oof,
We'll give you 5 minutes of fame.
like Susan
Cap.
Summers, but
You'll all find out soon enough.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Captain Pennsylvania. Oh, do you want to plug anything? Because I hear there's something in the works.
I knew he was going to do this. I thought we were going to slide by.
A little bit of something.
Slash is going to kill me for this because we are in the crawling stages. But me, Gray, Slash, another friend of ours, Vale, we're starting up a channel. We're going to try and do some fun, nerdy stuff.
Mhm.
And when I say nerdy stuff, the YouTube algorithm is going to hate us because we are talking about everything.
Ah,
If it's in the universe, talking about it.
everything
Created last night,
buddy.
we're talking about it.
Nice.
But
All right,
yeah,
I'll be
we're in
there.
the crawling stages,
I'll be
man.
on the
But I
lookout
am
for it.
starting this. Look, I mean, I've been trying to get Josh and Trinity back on. They're kind of doing it. They're too big now. But next month, August, Mutant History Month, coming at you, man. Captain Pennsylvania is bringing it to you.
They're not too big. They'll have you on it, and if they won't, I'll talk with the crew and we'll get you on After Dark.
Connections, man.
We're still gonna bash Scotty Summers though. Okay.
Nah, man, because August 13th is Scotty Summers' day, Cyclops Day.
Is it?
You heard it here first.
So you'll defend him and we'll bash him. There we go. That works.
Defend him. That's my father, man. Of course I'll defend him.
Adam, yes, coming soon to to a YouTube
Yes,
channel near you that is coming up. Yep. I don't know
definitely.
if Slash features in, but possibly. So
Yes, Slash is gonna kill me,
Yep.
man. So
yeah,
Totally slash. He's gonna slash you. He's gonna live up
yeah,
to that name.
yeah.
he did not want me to talk about the channel yet because it's still in early development.
He said it's because you're a bank. We know what that means, don't we?
Is he in the
Oh,
chat?
really? He's in chat.
Yes.
He is. Yep. Yeah.
He
Of
said
course
because
he's
Cap
there.
is a
Hey,
bank.
Slash, look,
Oh.
somebody is actually back here. They got a gun to my head. You can't see it right now though. What
Yeah,
me?
it's the green screen.
Green
It's
screen.
yeah. It's a green screen with your nice faded ass yellow background.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
100% green screen. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming tonight. I appreciate everything.
definitely.
Thanks for having
Thanks for
me.
the support. I will see you guys tomorrow. So yeah, Lavas and Captain Pennsylvania. Um, so guys, that's it for me tonight. I appreciate everybody for coming and hanging out. Um, we got a little bit of talk about some news, and I'm blurry. Um, did some readings. Went and talked about some stuff that I don't usually talk about, but I think it was nice to get some different opinions. And so yeah, so check out everybody we talked to tonight. Check out Josh at Den of Nerds Live. Check out Lavas, and Tara on Den After Dark. Definitely check out Fanjecture, Debate 8, and also the Morning Brews in the morning. You know what? I got a question for you guys. Is Trinity streaming? Is Trinity streaming? Probably not this time of night. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for making this a really fun evening tonight. I've gone a little bit over as long as I wanted to. I'm a little bit blurry. A little bit blurry because of the readies. It's been a really fun night for me. Um, I'm trying to grow. If you guys are watching this on replay, if you're watching it now, please like, subscribe, do all that other customary stuff that people need to get uh, done to push your channel out. Um, I just started my Facebook page. If you guys want to check that out, Polyhedral Paradise Live. So guys, thank you again so much, and I'm gonna sign off here. If there's anything I missed, I'm sorry, but in the game of life, may you all always roll with advantage, and I will catch you guys as soon as possible. I love you all. Thank you so much for coming by. Good evening.